Shalom, welcome KeepOlim, and welcome all the Olim out there to KeepOlim Special Election Night broadcast, live from Studio Sadeh. And being with us today is our chairman of the board of KeepOlim, my co-founder, Tzvika Graiver.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for being with us tonight. Very important broadcast tonight we're bringing you. I hope everyone is going to share this important broadcast. 2 days to elections, super important. Join us and share.
So please, the phone numbers to call in tonight, they're also on your screen, are 058-795-4531. That's 058-795-4531 or 055-980-7790. That's 055-980-7790. And joining us in a few minutes will be Anne Pollard, and who's also on the board of KeepOlim. And me, if you don't know me, my name is LiAmi Lawrence. I'm the co-founder of KeepOlim with my partner over here, Tzvika Graiver, and I'm the CEO and the head Jew in charge. And basically, we're going to have an awesome time tonight. We're going to be talking about the elections, why some of you are fed up, why some of you may not want to vote. A lot of you don't know who to vote for. Honestly, I don't know who I'm voting for. And Tzvika, you don't know who you're voting for, right?
I'm pretty sure who I'm going to vote for. I'm just not sure what change it's going to do to us.
So first of all, we have to tell you that KeepOlim is a NGO. It's a nonprofit, and we're non-political. That means we don't support any party. We just care that you go out and vote and are informed about what's going on in Israel in English. And so we don't care who you vote for, just as long as you vote. Your vote is very important. There are a lot of parties that are on the border of getting in or not getting in, or a lot of parties, as you know, basically it's tied. Nobody can make it. This is our fifth election, guys. And most people are fed up because every time you go to the polls and vote for somebody, it don't matter. We have to vote again. Now, I don't know about you, but I've changed parties 3 times in the last 5 elections. Tzvika?
No, didn't change parties, but I think for Olim, situation is very different than for us Israelis that were born here, because Olim, they're more confused, I feel. They don't know who's doing what for them and not so sure who is going to really make a change in their life. And this is why we're here tonight. We want to hear you guys. We want to think together who's really gonna make a change to Olim, because as you guys know, KeepOlim is here to make Olim stay in Israel. We don't bring Olim to Israel, but the one that did this crazy act to come here and to do it against all odds, we want to help you to stay here. Helping you staying here, one of the most important things is to help you understand who's there in the Knesset that is actually going to help and make your life easier. And I know me and LiAmi we are very different thinking about it.
Yeah, totally. We have 10 board members of KeepOlim. All of us represent the left to the center to the right. All of us are different. All the board members have different opinions. And you'll hear from myself. I'm not on the board, but Tzvika and Anne, who's on her way, Tel Aviv traffic. And, all of us have different opinions, and we'll discuss some of them tonight with you. So first of all, if those of you that don't know about KeepOlim, we're an NGO, post-Aliyah NGO for all Olim from over 100 different countries. And we have 45,000 people in our Facebook group, and we do everything from Tikva for Olim mental health to KeepOlim Feeds Olim, to many different programs, events, parties, socializing, workshops, so many different programs. If you don't know about KeepOlim, go to keepolim.org and find out about it. Please, we're live on the air now, so please go and tell your friends and share this across Facebook, so we'll have a lot of people listening in and hopefully a lot of people deciding who they plan to vote for tonight. So
I think, LiAmi, until Anne is coming, maybe let's tell the audience a bit about Tikva for Olim program, which is our main focus now in Keep Olim. Super important program that doesn't have enough budget to really take care of all the Olim that we want to take care of.
So, KeepOlim, we got good news. We now became a tax deductible last week. We're now tax deductible in KeepOlim. So, anybody in Israel who wants to make a donation can do it, and it's now tax deductible after 6 years. So, thank you for that. And thank you for all the donations to keeping us. And what was I going to say?
Tikva for Olim.
Tikva for Olim is an amazing program. The director is Susan Cohen. She's an amazing angel that was sent to us from England. I don't know how. And we now have over 200 lone soldiers getting free weekly counseling, free in 13 different languages. And we also have plus 300 and something Olim who are also getting either free counseling or low-cost counseling weekly in 13 different languages by our amazing volunteer staff of 50 therapists.
So basically, the problem is that if Ole wants a therapist in his own native language and he goes to his Kupat Cholim, he needs to wait for 8, 6, 1 year to get a therapist on his native language. This many times makes Olim get frustrated and just leave the country. So Susan Cohen, which is, I agree with LiAmi, an unbelievable woman that took on herself Tikva for Olim program and really taking care 24/7, 360 days a year, finding therapists to Olim in their native language, including lone soldier. This is a very important important program. And another program I want to speak right before we're gonna welcome Anne in the table is about our Feeding Olim program. Sadly, the economic situation, LiAmi, is going on the face, like you like to say. Many Olim are struggling. Many Olim are having hard time to do their shopping in the supermarkets. And since the beginning of 2020, Keep Olim gave out
210,000 shekels worth of food
in coupons
to 500, real food from Supersol and Rami Levy. We send them Rami Levy and Supersol coupons, gift cards actually. And we've given out to 550 families over 210,000 shekels worth of gift cards in the last 2 years.
So this is another amazing program that it's super important for people to understand and to donate and to help us, helping Olim from all over the world to stay in Israel and to make Israel a better place for all of us.
And now let's welcome Anne Pollard. So Anne is a board member of Keep Olim. She's the spy on the board. No, I'm just joking. And Anne has the most amazing story. So if you're bored hearing this program, Google her, and you'll be amazed at her. And she's a hero. And we're very pleased to have her, and I'm very pleased to call her one of my closest friends, as I'm sure Tzvika is too. So, okay, let's get started. So we're here to talk about elections. And Anne, do you know who you're voting for?
No, this is the first time in my life, actually, that I don't. I have not decided. In fact, I haven't even decided if I'm going to vote this year. And this is a first for me, ever, because I am a diehard political. I love politics. I love being involved in politics. I love knowing everything about every candidate, but not this year.
I think Anne and I are pretty similar in this case because you know who you're going to vote if you vote. You know if it's right or left, but you have some kind of a feeling that it doesn't really matter.
Correct.
Okay, that's a very bad thing in a democracy, to not feeling that your vote worth something.
But you
the
see,
problem.
in Israel,
I don't feel it's a
in
democracy.
Israel, if you decide not to vote, for instance, if not enough people vote, it's 60-60 almost tie. So if you don't vote and you support one side, let's say side Bibi or side Lapid or one of the parties that are aligned with them, you know, they need your votes. Because if half the Arabs don't vote, pretty much that means Bibi's going to win. If a lot of Arabs vote, then pretty much Lapid's going to win. So it really depends on your vote, you know. There are a lot of parties struggling, Meretz and Labor. They're on the threshold of getting in or not getting in. Okay, they're struggling at 4. Balad is also struggling. Jewish Home is not even Jewish Home and Balad are not even they're not even in play right now. Now you could say, is it important to vote for a party? I believe it's important to vote your conscience, whether it's a popular conscience or not a popular conscience. So if you're thinking about voting for some of these smaller parties, there are 39 parties running in the Knesset. We probably only talk about the top 10 parties, but there are many different parties in that are smaller that are running for the Knesset, and some of them may call in tonight. Okay? So with us in the studio tonight is Shir Aloni, Alex Morozov, Noah, and Shiraz, who are my amazing interns from KeepOlim. And we thank them for being here tonight.
Masa program, yeah. It's
They're
important
from
to
the
say.
Masa program. And we
Those
thank
interns
them.
makes us a big change in KeepOlim.
Yes,
Very big
indeed.
change.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Okay, and we're gonna take calls. So again, the phone numbers are on the screen. If you want to call in and talk to us, we'd love for you to talk to us. Tell us your opinions. Tell us why you're voting. Tell us why you're not voting. Tell us you're undecided and you don't know who to vote for. And you know what? Maybe we could all help you, right? So the phone numbers are 058-795-4531 or 055-980-7790. Answering your calls will be Noah or Shiraz, okay? And or if you're too embarrassed you don't want to talk on the phone, you don't want to phone in, you may write your questions on Facebook and either send them to you post them in KeepOlim or our KeepOlim fan page, or send them as a private message to myself or to Tzvika or to Anne, and we'll read them out loud. Okay?
I think, LiAmi, the diversity in KeepOlim is so amazing, and there's so many people from so many backgrounds that people should really feel comfortable to call tonight and say what they feel. I think it's a very important act for people to say what they have on their hearts, for good and bad, and not to be ashamed of nothing. We're a device group, we're a non-political organization. In the end, we want to hear you, and we want to give you our own small information that we can provide you and help you to decide what to do tomorrow, in 2 days. 2 days, 48 hours.
Now, the interesting thing is, like, me and Tzvika and Anne are very, very close. We're very dear friends. And we don't agree politically at all. We only agree that we want to help Olim and we love Israel and we love Olim, right? But we'll sit at a table and Anne will say her piece, Tzvika will say his piece, and I'll be like, could you pass the salt, please? And you know, when I talk, they don't pay attention no how. So it don't matter. It's all good. Are we ready for our first calls?
I don't even think it's important, LiAmi, because tell me,
LiAmi, you have a message from Joanna C.
Okay.
You both appeared on the question to discuss the Olim status, how the candidates are concerned about us since the corona put lots of Olim in dramatical situations.
One more time, please.
You both appeared on the question to discuss the Olim status, how the candidates are concerned about us since the corona put
that's a very good question,
lots
because
of Olim in dramatic situations. This is Joanna C.
Okay, thank you, Joanna, for writing in, first of all. And I know Joanna. Joanna is a ooh la la French hola. Okay, thank you, Joanna, for writing in first. And okay, so who wants to answer the question?
I think it's a great question, because I don't have the answers, because that's what we ask exactly every day. What are the politicians wants to do for Olim? I see them speaking on their campaign on so many not important issues, but I don't see them speaking about Olim and Olim problems and how they are going to solve those problems.
Now, KeepOlim did ask. KeepOlim had 4 videos sent to us.
Hello?
Are we on the
we
air?
have a list.
Yes. Hi, hold on. Caller?
Hello?
Hi, what's your name?
Ezra Gilbert.
Ezra Gilbert. Shalom, Ezra.
Erev tov.
You're on the air live with us. So, hey, Ezra, what do you have to say for yourself? Who are you going to vote
LiAmi.
for?
Thanks so much, and to the other hosts for having me. I'm a longtime supporter of KeepOlim.
Thank you very much.
You hear me okay?
We hear you fine, loud and clear.
Yeah, we're
Continue.
hearing ourselves overload.
Okay. So
Sure.
I want to talk to you guys about supporting small ideological parties. I heard Anne and the other host talking about voting left or voting right and not feeling like it's going to help. And so I want to make the case for small parties.
Okay.
So basically, I'm traditionally a right-wing religious voter, and I've voted Likud and Bayit Yehudi and all those mainstream parties in the past. But I've been in Israel since 2008 in multiple election cycles, and I basically found myself in the same situation where ultimately I feel like there's not a big difference between left and right. I don't really get what I want. The politicians don't really represent my views. And if I can find a small party that may not pass the threshold, but at least I'm voting my conscience, I'm voting my heart, I feel good, I feel like, I gave it my all. And even if they don't make it in, some of those parties and their supporters, they're playing a long-term game. So that vote gets registered, and people see it, and the politicians are going to try to get my favor in the next cycle. And my neighbors are going to see, oh, who's that guy who voted for the small party? What are they about, and what's going on?
Ezra.
And, we've been having elections sometimes multiple times a year. And so you don't have to wait that long to try again. And the biggest reason is a vote for a small party is a vote against the threshold, because the threshold has destabilized our system and wasted 18 billion shekels over the last 3 years and 5 election cycles.
This
So that
could get us
threshold
a
needs
nice
to go back down
apartment.
to 2%, how it was in 2015.
So wait, let me just stop and for people that don't understand, there's a threshold of 3.25%. So each party needs to win if they want to get into the Knesset. There are 39 parties vying to get into the Knesset. 10 will probably make it, and the rest may or may not make it. There's probably like 29 small parties. Now, Ezra, which party do you plan to vote for?
So I'm going to support the Ometz party, which is a party most of you have not heard of. I'm on the side of the political spectrum, which suffered very much from the corona policies. My human rights were trampled. I feel like our democracy has never been in such a horrible situation as it's been. And I say that as an American who grew up with a constitution and the knowledge that my government was working for me. They'd never attack my freedom of speech, my freedom to decide what goes into my body, my freedom to go out with my family to a restaurant, to an amusement park, to go outside, to breathe oxygen. I mean, what did they do to us? And it's not just Israel, it's all around the world. I see Anne nodding her head. I know you agree with me. And Ometz is a party.
I think you're talking wait, hold on.
With my values and my ideology. And I don't care if they're left or right. They're going in to overhaul the Ministry of Health. And the Ministry of Health is so corrupt. They've killed more people than the Arab terrorists in all the wars in the last 3 decades. Okay?
I have a question,
and it's not
Ezra.
just here. It's in
Ezra.
the FDA, it's in the CDC. We got to start somewhere.
Ezra,
so
I have a
voting
question for
Ometz.
you. You hear me?
Sadi.
Ezra, you hear me? Ezra?
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Who promised you that this is not some kind of a party that just came up exactly with your ideas of taking your freedom
Can you
away?
speak closer to the microphone? I don't hear you.
I'm asking who told you that they're telling the truth? That's the question you should ask yourself when you're voting for this kind of a party that just pop up. It's a pop-up party that they're saying things that you can agree with, maybe Anne agree with, maybe other people agree with. But my questions to you is, how do you know that they will tell you the truth and they're not just going to take your vote and put it in the garbage?
That's a great question. And the reason I know that is because these are not career politicians. These are concerned citizens who care. This is government by the people, for the people. That's how democracy is supposed to be. It was never supposed to be professional career politicians who serve way too long and get corrupted by money or power.
Did you
So give
research?
me
Did you do
a
your
regular
research on them?
concerned citizen like any of the three of you, and I will pick you.
Oh,
any day
definitely. I
over
tell
all of
LiAmi
those
for
corrupt,
7 years that if we were
politicians.
opening a party for Olim, we were really working for the Olim and not working on the Olim.
All right, so let me just read something about the Ometz party because a lot of people, I didn't know about it.
How did it? Ometz or Chometz?
It's called Ba'ometz Bishvilcha, with strength for you, and it's Katz. You have to vote Kuf,
Ketz.
Sadik.
Ketz.
I flunked Opan and Nikshalti Opan here. How many people Nikshal Opan? I flunked Opan. I got thrown out. I got caught smoking in the boys' room, okay? So the teacher called my mom. It was a pretty horrible conversation. Anyway, the Ometz party is headed by Tzvika Graiver, and it was formed in protest over how the state handled its pandemic policies. It also promotes individual freedom. So that's, I guess, Ezra, that's what attracted you to this party.
Absolutely.
Okay. And do you feel, I have you on the phone for a second.
Just to tell you, I'm Googling this name, Tzvika Graiver, right now, and I see that he was for the vaccine. So that's what I see here on Google and showing up in some article. So what I don't know this party, to be honest, but my best advice to you is to really, really research who's the people.
So I'll just tell you, it's a party of doctors and scientists and lawyers who disagree with the government, and they were silenced, and they were shut out, and they were ignored, and their voices need to be heard.
So it's basically a party about individual freedom and not to be herded like I guess we were during Corona, where we all were in lockdowns and there was different laws, I guess, for some people who were vaccinated against those who were not vaccinated. And I know this is a big thing for Anne, because if you go to Anne's Facebook page, that's what she posts about. So that's maybe an interesting option for you.
Oh, I've been thinking about it.
Okay.
Actually, I am familiar with the party.
Just to let you know, there's another party called Kol Kovia. Every vote counts.
Kol Kovea.
And this party,
Kol Kovea.
yeah, I'm gonna have somebody fixing my Hebrew after I speak after each party gets. I butcher the name here. The party deals with welfare and caretaking issues, and it's a small party, but they only posted 2 candidates. So, all right.
I have a last question for Ezra. Is why did you make Aliyah to Israel? Why did you make Aliyah to Israel?
So, I didn't hear. Can you repeat?
I am asking, why did you came to Israel? Why did you make Aliyah?
Why did I think?
Why did you make Aliyah to Israel?
Why did I make Aliyah? Wow. So before Corona, I was the biggest Zionist you ever met. Okay? I was the biggest supporter. I made parades in my community every time Olim came.
Where do you live?
I made Aliyah because of Zionism.
Where do you live?
I'm a Zionist.
Ezra, where do you live?
I live in the north in a small yeshuv.
Okay. So thank you so much for calling and good luck with
Wait, you didn't answer the question. So why did you make Aliyah?
I made Aliyah because I'm a Zionist, because I wanted to raise my kids in a Jewish state, in a Jewish democratic state.
So you don't think it's a good idea
to do to my kids and to me what they did over Corona. Okay?
So you don't think it's a good idea to vote for? You don't think it's a good
we
idea?
got a lot to fix here. There's a lot of corruption. But I'm happy I'm here, and I still call for Olim to come, but the state is not what I thought.
Okay, Ezra. Thank you very much for calling.
Ezra,
thank you. You
so
gave us a lot of
much,
things.
really
Thank you,
appreciate
Ezra.
you
Think
Toda
about it.
rabah.
Thank you guys for
Appreciate
everything
very
that
much
you
the
do.
way
I really
you expressed
appreciate it.
yourself.
God bless you, Ezra. Toda rabah.
You too. Batzlacha.
So Thank you. So if you want to call in like Ezra, 058-795-4531. That's 055-795-4531 or 055-980-7790.
I think it's
Operators are
very-
standing by waiting for you to call. So call, talk to us.
I think it's very interesting that Ezra left all his life in America, came to Israel, and from being a very big Zionist, but he's not voting for a Zionist party. It's a good thing.
Hello,
to
are
think
you?
about. We have another caller.
We have another caller. You're live on the air. What's your name, please?
Well, my name is Edith Kalisher. I'm Dr. Edith Raz Kalisher.
Dr. Kalisher. Okay. And where are you calling from and what party do you support?
Excuse me, I didn't hear you well.
I said, where are you calling from tonight and what party do you support?
I think she's from a party.
I'm calling from Ramat Gan, and I'm supporting the party. I'm the second candidate in the list.
Oh, wow. What's your party?
And we're Economic Freedom, Chofesh Kalkali.
Kofesh Kakali.
A beer Kara party, right?
Right.
Okay, that's Ken.
That's
so
an-
let me read this to you, what the party is for those that don't know before me and the doctor, we all talked to her. So it was formed from the ashes of Yamina. Economic Freedom is the niche party of small business and independent contracting champion Abir Kara. Kara rose to prominence as one of the leaders of the economic protest group for the Shul Mamanim, a reference someone left to pick up the tab. The platforms include its more libertarian personal and economic freedom and to reduce bureaucracy and to compensate for independent contractors affected by the pandemic closures. Is that correct?
Yes, and we also wish to legalize cannabis.
Oh, well, you got my vote right there.
You don't
Hey.
need them.
Hey.
But Dr. Kalisher, are you an MK? You were in this last Knesset?
Excuse me?
Are you an MK? You were in the last Knesset as an MK?
Oh, I can hear you. I barely can hear you.
Okay, so could you hear me now? Could
No,
you?
just a second. I'll try to
Okay.
switch to another phone. Just a second. Okay, let's try now.
Oh, that's better. So he asked you, Tzvika asked you if you're in the Knesset now.
Well, I'm sorry. I have having problem. I'll try to call again. I'm sorry.
Okay, she'll call back. Do we have another
Bye-bye.
caller? Bye-bye.
I remember, LiAmi, that I think you met Dr. Kalisher. I think she was part of Kulanu before. I'm not sure. I'm going to Google it now
Okay.
and tell you. Or she's going to come back on air.
There's been so many elections and so many people. The names, like I guess the office, if you're a Cohen or a Levy, the office door stays the same.
No, the thing
But
is,
other names keep changing.
the thing is with Abir Kara that he was part of the Amina party and dropped off like
All right,
everyone
hello,
else.
we have a caller.
Yeah, it's again Dr. Kalisher. Dr. Kalisher, you hearing us?
Yes.
Okay, I asked if you were an MK before in the last Knesset. We were part of the
Hold
last.
on 1 second. I think I must just make the Facebook.
Yes, you need to
hold
shut
it
up.
softer. Otherwise,
Okay.
we're gonna have feedback. Hold on.
Okay, guys, when you call, please make sure your radios are turned down, your Facebook is turned down, so we don't hear
Okay.
feedback.
Okay. Right. I've turned that down.
Oh, now you have
No.
a South African accent. I didn't. Now we
Yes.
understand you. Okay.
Now you understand.
Hi,
me,
Dr.
right?
Kugel.
Okay, I don't think Dr. Kalisher is
The
with us.
only thing is to be able to.
Who are
I
we
think
talking
the-
with?
The problem is that when we speak on the phone, we don't hear the answers.
We hear you very well. I don't know what about the live, but we hear you very well.
Sorry, what did you
Okay,
say?
so what would you like? You're voting for what party again?
What party am I voting for?
Yes.
Either Yeshua, probably, no, not probably, definitely, Lapid.
Okay, so
Who are we talking with? What is your
wait,
name?
What's your name? Because we mixed up the calls. What's your name?
I can't hear you.
What?
You know,
What is your name?
Adrian.
Adrian Bernstein in the house.
Is it you, Adrian?
Adrian.
Yes.
Hi, you got me and Ann. We're the fellow Vatikim from a few years ago of Noah Alone. We spent Passover together at Andrea's house.
You should explain what's Noah Alone.
Noah Alone is an amazing program KeepOlim has for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, Rosh
Yeah,
Hashanah
no,
and Passover.
Were you at my house?
Yes.
I only hosted it. Oh, how amazing.
You don't remember this?
Yes, of course I do. Anne was there and LiAmi was there.
She makes the best tuna I have ever tasted in my life. I'm still licking my lips 5 years later. Trying to find more tuna.
The whole Seder was beautiful.
It was really
It was
beautiful.
a beautiful
Okay,
family.
so
Yes, of course.
okay, so
Hi, LiAmi.
hi. So Adrian, we got mixed up because we thought you were another caller. Okay, so you're voting. You think you're leaning towards Lapid, but you're not sure.
No, I think I'm sure that firstly, before we go to what my voting is, I just want to reiterate something about Susan that I think is so important for people to understand the power of Susan. And that is that psychology has such a bad rap. And with Susan, I can guarantee you that you're not going to need 20 sessions. You'll need maximum 2 with her. So put all your fears aside. I personally used her. I rave about her.
That's amazing.
Thank
She's
you for
quite
saying that.
quite
I agree.
incredible. I used Susan first when you had the free programs at the beginning of COVID, and since then I've used her personally, and in all my years and years of therapy, I can tell you she's the best I've ever
Well,
had.
I gotta admit, I was the first person since I helped create the program of Tikva for Olim. Guess who was the first person that took the program? And I had a counselor for 2 years. My sessions took a little bit longer than yours. You know, I'm a little bit, you know, we all know, you know. I'm a few French fries short of a Happy Meal. It's okay. You know. But no, my therapist was amazing and so many breakthroughs, and it really helped me. I don't lose my temper at the group that much anymore. Almost. And I only quit like once every 3-4 weeks now, as opposed to every day. So it's better. So anyway, Andrea.
So let's get on to the vote.
Yes, please. So let's talk. So
tell us why you want to vote for Lapid. What is it you see about his party and his leadership skills as a prime minister? What did you see that you liked about him?
Okay, so I didn't hear you, and I can see your mouth moving, but I can't hear you.
Oh, I ask you, why Lapid? What is it about him that you like, or that you feel he did well in the last few months as a prime minister? Tell us what you feel about him, and why you would vote for him again.
My reasoning is a much broader reason as well, and that is actually I wrote a long post today on Facebook explaining firstly why I'm a centrist and why, and I think that one of the things that is so important for voters who are standing on the fence to realize is that we need to vote for and to think about 20, 30 years ahead. And this is what is so vital, because if, in fact, Likud and his
Andrea,
the cronies
how do you feel?
We headed for financial and educational disaster.
Andrea, do you hear me? Andrea, you hear me? Hi. I didn't eat your tuna on Leila Seder, but I want to know, how do you feel about Lapid not having the option to create any government unless he will join in the Arab parties that doesn't think you should make Aliyah or even be here?
Sorry, you need to talk more into the mic. Tzvika. I
All right,
can't
let me
hear
let
you.
me let me say his question. Could you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. He asked, you talked about voting for Lapid, and does it concern you that he may need the support of the Arab parties to get into the Knesset,
That's his only way.
which Tzvika says the Arab parties may not support your aliyah or our aliyah.
Okay. As an older Olim, so I stand on the fence of an Olah and Tzvika, being here nearly 30 years. I personally, don't have a problem with them joining up with Arab parties. I do feel that, they are entitled to some sort of representation as well.
Oh, they're entitled to everything you're entitled as an Israeli, but I'm asking again, you understand
I
that
can't hear you.
you understand there
I
are
can't hear you.
you understand that there are
I can see your mouth going.
Yeah,
can't hear a word.
I know. It's very annoying me, but I'm trying to
You
stay
need
calm.
to speak right into the mic.
I'm asking, do you understand that those parties there have all
I can't hear you, sorry.
LiAmi, you ask her.
Okay.
If she understands that those parties have the same right she has as an Israelis, but those parties also don't want Israel to stay an Israel.
Okay, so he said, of course, the Arab citizens have a right to vote and the same rights as all of us, and the rights of Israelis. But he's asking if does it bother you that some of these Arabs may not want Olim to come into the country or to be a Jewish country. That's what he was asking you.
To be quite honest, I would rather have towards the Arab side than I think that you can say exactly the same about the right extremists.
How long ago did you make Aliyah?
30 years ago.
30 years ago. What I will ask you the same question I asked Ezra. What was the reason you made Aliyah 30 years ago?
Tzvika, can't hear you again.
Why did you make Aliyah? That's what Tzvika wanted to know.
My parents made Aliyah in 1949. My mother unfortunately got polio, and the polio epidemic went to South Africa, and we were brought up extreme Zionists. And of my parents' 3 children and, 40, whatever, grandchildren, most of us, I've got another brother here, one in South Africa. My children are here. My grandchildren are Sabras. I'm in love with Israel. I don't always like it. And
I think that about sums it up.
Yeah.
I think that we all love Israel, but some days are better than others,
Exactly.
Some days for me it's like, you come from South Africa, I come from America. It's very different. And sadly, I came from Beverly Hills, so I came here very spoiled. And Israel's not Beverly Hills. And it's sometimes like Olam Shlishi, like the third world, especially with service and stuff like that. It's very different from me. I learned how to be a much more on the surface Israeli and not so much, about materialism. That's what we learned here. That's my thing. I learned more. We're poor. We're poor, and money's not everything. It's a quality of life. So anyway, Andrea, thank you so much for calling.
Before I sign off, LiAmi, there's just one thing, and that is my feeling of people voting for the small parties who might not pass the threshold. Yeah, it is important for us to have other voices, but this election, I believe, is so vital that we can't afford to throw away any votes.
Okay, you heard Andrea. Thank you so much, Andrea. And you have a good night and good luck in the election. And we'll talk again. Okay.
Take care.
Now we have
Bye.
another call. Bye-bye. Toda rabah.
You know, this is a very important question. So what is the difference if we vote for a large party versus we vote for a small party that doesn't even make the threshold? Have we thrown the vote away, or have we sent a message? What do you think is the
I
difference?
think we send a message.
Yeah?
I think you should vote your conscience. That's why there's 40 parties. If not, there would just be two. You know, Democrats or Republicans if you were in America. But there are many independents, and there are many people that don't vote for Democrat or Republicans because they're fed up with them. Just like here, they're fed up with all the big parties. So I think it's okay to vote for a small party. I think if you vote, you're not throwing your vote away. Not voting makes you throw away your vote because people died for you to have a vote. So I'm kind of really like all of us kind of have to vote because I think it's our right as Israeli citizens. We all came here in the last few years to move to Israel, to be Israeli, and part of the duty, I think, living here is voting. Now, I don't care who you vote for. I don't care if you vote for one of the 39 small parties, but just vote your vote. I think it's important because you did your civic duty going out in your community and trying to make your community a better place. So I don't care what party you vote for. I don't care if you vote for the extreme left or the extreme right. I prefer not extremes, but okay. But as long as you vote and vote your conscience.
We got a question from Facebook. Does Bibi has a chance, Anne? That's the question. Does Bibi have a chance?
Oh, you want me to answer that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can. I think you know him the best from all of us here. So
Absolutely.
know his promises the best from all of us here.
I think, and I will say, in the past, Bibi's always been my choice. So you should know straight out, I'm a centrist, and I'm, I guess, leaning more toward the right, and security is a huge, huge issue to me. Huge issue. However, in the last 3 years, obviously, government tyranny and forcing medical procedures on people has become something more important to me than even security. But saying that, as it is, I think, okay, Bibi is absolutely going to win. I think he will win the majority of votes, and I think he's going to be the prime minister again.
Well, I think there's not going to be no winners this time, only losers.
I think we're all losers. But we have
No,
another
not-
call? Okay, we have another. Okay, so we have another call. Let's hold on.
But if you ask my I think it's going to be a tie.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be no solution. It's going to stay like this for a while, and then
But
maybe.
when you say a tie, do you mean equal amounts of mandates?
I mean, no one will be able
Lapid
to.
versus
No
Bibi,
one will be
or
able
you
to
don't think-
establish a government.
You don't think Bibi's going to have more mandates?
No.
Much more mandates? I think Bibi will
I
have
w-
many more mandates. I don't know that he'll have 61.
I know. I don't know. Bibi will have more mandates than Lapid for sure. But is the question if he's going to make 61? I don't think he's going to make 61.
I think he will. I think people will join him right and left this time.
It depends if people will go out of the house. You know, they just showed that in the left wing, there's like 75% of the people go vote, and on the right wing, only 65% people go vote. So I guess if this is going to stay the same, there's not going to be no solution.
Well, I think that's what I was trying to say initially when you asked me about voting or how I was going to vote in the first place. I think what we're going to come to is a point where the government is going to change radically in this country, as it is in every country in the world since the tyranny of COVID. And I believe that governments are going to change. It's not going to be filled with umpteen million politicians, but it's going to be something more people-based and people-oriented. And that's where I see us going.
I believe in Mashiach. I think that's more chance he's going to rescue us than all of them.
I like that too.
Yeah.
But in the interim, till he gets here, I think it's going to change, and it's going to be more community-based and more people-oriented, and people that can keep their promises.
Okay. Hi, you. We have a new caller. What's your name, please? Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, you talking to me? Candy.
Candy.
Abelson.
Candy Abelson. This is a very successful Ola. One of my friends. Thank you for calling in. She is a celebrity, guys. She is a comedian and she's famous. She's on TV. She has commercials. She's amazing because she performs in French, English, and Hebrew. So this is an Oleh that taught herself Hebrew and does stand-up in Hebrew.
I say instead of talking about boring politics, let's just give her the last 15 minutes of the first hour to do us.
Can do a comedy skit
Yeah,
for us,
yeah,
stand up,
yeah.
and we would
We-
probably
we
make
got-
everybody happier
Yeah,
than talking about politics.
Exactly.
So, Candy, what's your take on the politics? Who you going to vote
Well,
for?
first of all, I joined the only party that allows for happiness, and that's Alei Yarok, Green Party.
Okay,
And,
that's one of the third
I'm
parties.
actually on the list.
Really?
Oh.
Yes. If I get elected tomorrow, I have to stop stand-up. There's not much chance, so it's okay.
What number are you? What number are you?
They don't have a good chance because they just reformed. Honestly, if we can't get a government, why can't we get legalization? I mean, who the hell's against it? You know?
I don't know. I'm all for
It's
that.
such a childish thing. Why do I have to buy weed from Canada?
You don't get medical weed?
Right? It's ridiculous.
Why don't you tell them how you get your weed?
Yeah, how do you buy weed?
How
in
do you buy
Canada
weed,
when you're in
Candy?
Israel.
Tell them how do you buy your weed?
Well, really, anyway.
I think more people would be
One way,
interested
you
in
know,
that.
when I moved here, I used to get it in the chute. That was the best. From the vegetable guy, green vegetable. But unfortunately, he got arrested, and you know. But luckily, they put him under house arrest, so nobody went to visit him but me, and they still left some weed in his house. It was a good deal. I used to bring him a pizza box.
Oh, that's
But,
funny.
you know, honestly,
What
here's
number
the
is
thing. I've been in Israel 10 years, and I have voted 12 times. I mean, that is not logical. And so every time I voted for another party, and every time they didn't get in. And half of them left politics and are, like, selling weed legally, you know, medical weed. So I thought, well, okay, this time I'm going to vote for myself because I'm not going to quit. And I just want people to be happier, you know. People in Israel work so hard, and they really do the right thing, and they, you know, support their family, and they try so hard. But some of our freedoms are taken away, and we have to spend so much energy doing things that we shouldn't have to do, and our quality of life hurts.
What number are you on the list, Candy?
Number 3.
Number 3. Number 3 is a good number. It means
Well,
if
I
they're
may just
passing,
vote.
you're
You
in.
know what? I may just vote for you.
Good.
You
I mean,
know,
the thing is that, you know, we're rising quickly. It's tough, by the way. I wanted an emoji, because I thought people wouldn't recognize that, because honestly, you go in to vote here, it's like in chemistry, you remember the table of
Yes, the periodic
table.
You're right.
It's
You're right.
exactly like the periodic table. You stand there for 20 minutes going, oh, I wish I was better in chemistry, you know. If I put two things together that can't go together, the whole thing explodes.
What are the letters of your party?
Tough. The end, the last letter, because, hey, it's the end, guys. Enough discrimination against
So it's just one letter.
medical, you know, it's medical for everyone, even if it's just because we all have post-trauma living in Israel. Whether you're Arab, religious,
Are they for
traditional-
something else also? It's only legalization.
What?
Are they also for something else, or it's only?
it's
I
just
didn't hear the question.
Is
but
it
I
a
was
one?
thinking-
Is the Leia Roke just a one party, one subject
צריך
thing,
להשתמש בשאלה?
or do they have other?
Yeah, well, one of the things is that you won't believe this, but the Abraham Accords were never translated into Hebrew or Arabic. They were written in English, signed in English, thrown in a drawer. So we actually translated into Hebrew and Arabic. And we believe that we're the worst salesmen in the world because we're surrounded by a milliard of Arabs and we can't succeed in selling them anything. But we have a lot of Arabs who, if they're trained well and educated well, will be fantastic emissaries and people will buy from them. And then if we sell a lot of things to them, then we'll be able to do whatever we want because we'll be able to cross a border any way we want. We're very big on peace and cooperation, and we'll work with anyone. Because
Okay.
really, we just want to improve everybody's lot.
So pass the peace pipe.
You know,
is what
I
you're
don't,
saying.
honestly, I don't think I'm good in politics because I can't tell people who to vote. That doesn't feel right.
Okay.
And I can certainly tell them to vote. You know?
Well, I think
If everybody votes, that's already a great thing.
you presented a new option, so Alei Yarok,
Yeah.
for those people that support.
It's עלה ירוק או עלה ניידת, no? That was the slogan a few years ago.
I'm sorry, I'm having a lot of trouble hearing. I have no trouble talking, but I can't.
It's okay. All right, Candy, thank you very much. Were you performing lately?
Let's see, tomorrow I'm at a private party, 50th birthday. Thursday, Friday, I'm in the comedy bar. And next week's a long time away. Who knows, maybe the Knesset.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Bye-bye, Candy.
Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye. Everybody must get stoned. That's the answer to this election. Okay, we have a lot of different views, I guess. A lot of different, that's what's so special about KeepOlim, is that we are very diverse. And we all have very many different viewpoints.
Absolutely.
Like, Candy, I think, convinced me I'm going to vote green. I don't know.
I didn't even know they were running, so it's good she called in.
Okay, Noah?
We have another questions from home. I don't know if you hear me. I hope you do.
Okay.
People are asking how does the candidate will manage Ukraine and Ethiopian problems?
Okay.
Oh, sorry, not problems, newcomers. The new Olim that's coming
All
now
right.
from Ukraine and Ethiopia.
So first of all, right now, this is the biggest Aliyah year in many, many years. Over 60,000 people have already moved to Israel, made Aliyah this year, since January 1st. It's the biggest year, and thousands of more are expected from Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, and Ethiopia. The past government brought a few thousand Ethiopian Jews to Israel under an agreement signed by the Minister of Immigration, Penina
Tamano
Shata, and she brought. She's Ethiopian herself, and the government promised to bring the rest of the Ethiopians, and there's about 8,000 of them here. To Israel. There's 8,000 waiting in Ethiopia, and there's families that are broken up for like 15, 20 years. And we also have the same issue with the Bnei Menashe families of India, who the Bnei Menashe community is a huge part of KeepOlim. They make about 5% of our members in KeepOlim. The Bnei Menashes are from India. They're from Manipur, India, and they're from the Nepal border. And they believe that they're from the lost tribe of Israel. There's 5,000 Bnei Menashe that moved, made Aliyah to Israel, immigrated, and there's another 7,000 waiting. And sadly, one of the Bnei Menashe boys was murdered 3 weeks ago, and KeepOlim will be visiting his family in the next week or so to pay our respects and condolences. And there's a police investigation, and there are people that were arrested for his murder. Whether it's racism or not, we don't know. But hopefully the police will sort it all out and justice will prevail.
So again, I think this is one of the problems that I didn't hear none of the candidates talking about what are they going to do for Ukrainian Olim, Ethiopian Olim, or any Olim. I hear what they're going to do with the, with the Haredi community, that they want to make them mathematics and English, and this is I hear all day long. I hear them trashing on each other all day long, but I don't hear them saying nothing about what are they going to do for Olim. Even in this video that we asked the head of the parties to send us, and we super appreciate that they did send us those videos, especially I think we got from Bibi himself, that made the effort and sent us a video. I didn't see besides Smotrich, I think all of the rest was not.
We had 4 videos. We had Bibi, Smotrich, Mosi Raz represented Meretz, he's number 2, and Orna Barbilai represented Yesh Atid, and she's number 2 in Yesh Atid. Those are the 4 parties that care enough to send videos to KeepOlim, personal videos, to offer you the chance to see who they are and why you should vote for them. And sadly, most of the other parties couldn't care less. Most of the parties really
But
Don't-
even the one that sent the video, I didn't hear in the video them talking about what are they going to do for Olim, especially for Olim. We know Olim has different problems than Israelis, right? That people that live here, they have different issues, different problems, and I don't see them taking care or talking about what are they going to do for Olim.
Okay, we have another call. Caller, please come in. What's your name? Caller, you're on the air.
You've
Hello?
already spoken to me. They've called me. They've
No,
called me.
we already spoke
Bye.
with you.
Oh, okay, bye-bye. Sorry. Okay.
Twice the same caller. Oh, we're busy. So I really think it's going to be. I know there was an Olim party. You remember those days, Anne? There was some Olim party here in Israel, like
Yes.
especially for Olim. What was the name?
The Sharansky party?
The Sharansky party.
Yeah, I don't remember. I wasn't actually living here. I lived in the States.
It
then.
didn't. I
But,
don't think it did. I don't think it did so well. This Olim party. I think. I don't think they even passed the.
I think they did actually.
Ah,
I think
yeah, they did?
were. Yeah, I believe they were in the Knesset, and he was a minister, and I.
Okay, we have another caller. Someone saying hello.
Hello, come in.
Yes, hi.
Hi. Okay, what's your name, sir?
My name's Scott.
Scott, hi. And welcome to KeepOlim's broadcast. Where are you calling from?
I'll be voting for Jewish Home.
You were voting for who? I'm sorry.
Jewish Home, Abayit Hayudi.
Bayit HaYehudi. And where are you calling from?
Currently, I live in Etzefraim. It's in Shomron.
Okay. And okay, let's talk about Bayit Yehudi for a second. So why do you plan to vote for Bayit Yehudi?
I voted for them in the past. I've always supported Bennett and Shaked. She's accomplished a lot, I think, especially for right wing voters. And I personally don't agree with voting for smaller parties. I mean, anyone who can vote for whoever they want, but I think that she's really the key to breaking the deadlock in this election. Because,
And do you think she has a realistic shot of getting in?
I do. She's not, Bayit Yehudi and Shaked. Shaked is a very well-known, important figure. She's not one, and Bayit Yehudi is not one of these fly-by-night parties like the Green Party or Youth on Fire that really have zero chance. I think in the last year, they also predicted that Yamina will only get 3% or something like this, and they ended up getting 7 votes. So I don't think the polls are accurate.
Okay, so you believe that she has a chance. And are your friends voting for Ayelet Shaked or no?
Yeah, I do know a lot of people that vote for her. I think because the reason why I think she'll pass, and the reason why I don't think the polls are accurate is because, well, first of all, most if not all the people that voted for Yamina will vote for Jewish Home. There's a lot of religious, and it's not only religious voters that vote for them because she's secular, but there are a lot of religious people that are senior that team that cannot vote for someone like Ben Kabir, who had a picture of Baruch Goldstein in his salon. So I think
I
that,
didn't hear what you said. He had what?
He
So
said.
I think she'll take votes from Gantz. Whoever voted for Tikva Hadasha for New Hope is not going to vote for Gantz. He's a solid leftist. So I think she'll take votes from him, some religious votes, and people who voted for Yamina.
Okay.
I think she'll have more than enough to pass the 3.25 threshold.
You don't feel like she betrayed the right-wing people by joining this government, being the architect of this government, and not doing nothing to make this government to go away? Like, I guess Bayit Yehudi is a very right-wing. It's more right-wing than Likud. And the head of
Sorry,
Bayit
I'm not hearing what you're saying. It's coming.
Let me. There's something wrong with his microphone, I think. Basically, Tzvika was saying, it was Tzvika that was talking. He's saying that Ayelet Shaked's party, Bayit Yehudi, is kind of is very right wing. It's more right wing than Likud. That's what Tzvika said.
No, and I'm asking why does he, if he doesn't feel that she betrayed the.
Okay, so he wants to know, do you feel that, obviously you don't,
Do you feel
but
that by her joining with the Arab parties that she betrayed the right-wing voters in the past?
I mean, I think that they did what they had to do at the time. Personally, I wasn't so. I was actually kind of happy that Ram, who was kind of a more moderate Arab party, was able to join. Unfortunately, though, if Ram or one of the other Arab parties join, anytime there's another war with Gaza, they're going to bring down the government. So this is the problem. I think the Arabs they definitely need their voice represented. There needs to be a lot more done as far as fighting crime and these kinds of things. So it would be good if they were in the government, but they can't. A government can't hinge on support of any Arab party because they'll bring it down quickly, and then we'll be back into the cycle of new elections.
But actually, I think with a government, whether it's to the left or to the right, with this past government, Lapid's government, it hangs on by a wing and a prayer, and the same thing with the last few governments, because one person takes his chair and leaves, that's the end of the government.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with Lapid and his government was they were completely dependent on Ram and the other parties. So I don't think anyone predicted that government to last more than a year. It's a miracle it lasted.
But now my question to you, sir, is okay. Let's say Bibi gets 61 seats, and his government's podged together with all these different parties, and he does something that upsets Shas or upsets, America tells him to do something, and Ben Gvir's party could say, I'm leaving, this is not the government we signed up for either. So it's a very precarious situation, I think, when we have governments that are 61, 60, 59 seats.
Yeah, I mean, well, throughout our history, or at least for the past 40 years or so, we've always had to deal with the Haredim, and I'm not in favor of, them, extorting money from yeshivas, but they'll at least vote for a Zionist policy. So if Lapid is going to plan on having the support of Odeh and the Joint List, then they'll go against anything that's in Israel's best interest, especially any kind of security issues. So that's an untenable coalition. There's no way that he could form government. I think actually Lapid, he might be hoping for a stalemate, because then it'll let him take prime minister for the next 6 months. So I don't think he'd be too happy. But that's not good for Israel. Each election
can I ask you something? Do you trust Ayelet Shaked that she's going to carry on and whatever she makes her promises to be this time around, that she will not break her promises this year?
I mean, Ayelet Shaked has pretty much been someone who's kept her promise and has kept her track record. If you look at what she did as Justice Minister, helping bring the Supreme Court get more conservatives on the Supreme Court and change the way that the judges are appointed. She did that. She got the citizenship law renewed again this year. She passed a law limiting applicants and illegal immigrants that are in the country, where they can work to encourage them. Like, they can't work in the big cities anymore, so this is a way of encouraging them to deport themselves. So she hasn't wavered on the she makes her stances clear, and she's kept her promises, I think.
That's really good that you called in. It's good for us to have all the different opinions on the primary parties running now. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Scott.
Thank you. Yeah.
No, I want to ask, because it's interesting,
I think the important thing is for everyone to vote. That's the most important.
This we all agree with you. But it's interesting because you want to vote for a party that basically was out of the Knesset right now. Okay, Beit Yehudi wasn't part of the Knesset. Yamina was leading it and doing everything against what they said, and still people are voting for it. It's like it's a very interesting thing here.
Okay. So, thank you, Scott. And now, for those of you that want to call in again, it's 058-795-4531. That's 058-795-4531. 055-980-7790. 055-980-7790. If you're shy and you want to write and you don't feel like talking to us, write your questions on Facebook, on KeepOlim, and Noah or Shiraz will get them and read them to us, okay? Caller, are you on the air now? Ah,
Let's talk for again. I think it's the end of the.
Hello.
Yeah.
hi, okay. Caller, you're with us. What's your name?
It's Gilad Alper from the Economic Freedom Party. I can hardly hear you. Can you speak a little bit louder?
Could you hear us now?
Kind of.
Okay, is your radio turned down?
Yeah, I saw that small disaster you had.
We've had a few disasters, but hey, we keep on going. We're not like the Titanic. We're gonna keep on.
You'll
keep
have to
on
speak a
keeping
little bit
on.
louder. I can't hear
okay.
I can't hear anything.
Okay, so Gilad, you're calling for what party now?
Yeah, from the Economic Freedom Party.
Okay, and I believe it's your party? Gilad? Did we lose Gilad?
Hello.
Hi, Gilad, did we lose you? You're back?
Yeah, I think I can hear you.
Okay. I was asking, okay, what about this party that you like? And I believe that you're one of the candidates in this party?
No, sorry, I simply can't hear you.
Are you the head of, aren't you the head of the party? Or
Hold on. I'll call
What
back
number-
to another,
which number
I'll call
are
back
you
to
on the
another
party?
line. Maybe I can hear you better over the other line.
Okay.
Hold on just one sec.
So until Gilad will be back with us.
We have a very professional show, folks. This is what happens. This is KeepOlim, and you see that's why you need to donate money so we could have professional,
We can have proper
professional office staff, professional studio,
We're-
professional people that sit behind the microphone because we are professional. No, I'm joking, but you get what you pay for, folks. So please donate now. Go to keepolim.org and put in a few shekels so we have a working microphone. Okay.
I think more important even than voting and everything, there's an organization here that really work for Olim every day. One staff in this organization get paid. I know you guys seeing a lot of rumors out there about KeepOlim, but let's put it on the table. We have one person on salary sitting on my left side, LiAmi.
Am I right?
That working 24/7, really working every day, getting calls on Yom Kippur even from Olim that are in the need of help, and all he's doing is to help Olim. It's like LiAmi likes to say, we're on a string shoe budget. We don't get no funding from the government, although we got many promises that we will get budget for our important programs. This doesn't happen. So all we have is you guys at home, Olim in Israel and Olim from abroad, future Olim that knows that they're going to come here one day and want Israel to be a better place for them. So as chairman of the board, I'm not doing it usually, but I'm really calling out here for you guys to donate, to help, to volunteer, and to help us to keep Olim in Israel.
Thank you. All right, caller, do we have are you back?
No, but we have questions.
We have questions. What's the questions? We got questions.
Here,
We
you
got
read
questions. I'll read the question. Okay. Wow. Okay. Somebody wrote this question in. How does Chaver Knesset Alex Kushner, who's from the Israel Beitenu party, justify his party calling religious people parasites? Well, thank you for the question. I can't really answer for him because I'm not Alex, and Alex is not here.
It's important, very important to say that Alex never said such a thing. I think who said it was the head of the party, Lieberman.
It was Lieberman that said
I
that.
must say about Alex, because we know Alex personally. We know him since he was the CEO of Misrad Aliyah and Klita, and before he became an MK. And I think through these years, Alex helped KeepOlim in whatever he could help us, and try to put us on the front of the stage. And I think he's a great MK, actually, Alex Kushner. I really think, regardless my political views, I think Alex Kushner is a great MK. How did we excuse now for his head of this party calling religious people parasite, I don't think there is an excuse for that. I think it's a terrible thing to say and should not ever been said. And this is exactly one of our biggest problems, that what happens now is hafred umshol. They separating us instead of uniting us. We all Jews, we all Israelis, we all love this country. And instead of being together, united, they're trying to make us feel that the Haredim, ultra-religious people, are hurting us, and the other side trying to show that the other side are hurting us, and that's the worst thing there is.
I think extremism and pointing fingers at different sides, belittling the left or belittling the right or belittling religious or belittling the secular or the non-halakhic Jews in here, or the Ethiopians or whatever. It's just bad, I don't believe, in divisiveness. All of us don't. I think that's why we work so hard in KeepOlim, like behind the scenes, because we're actual friends that actually really give a damn. And although we're politically different, we come together as friends, and that supersedes what thoughts go into my brain, or what thoughts go into Tzvika's brain, or what thoughts that go into Anne's brain. That our friendship and our respect for one another, and that's the thing that we lack here in Israel sometimes, is respect for one another's opinions.
Oh, we saw it very, very bad example of this, what happened to Yoel, Zichron Livracha, from the Bnei Menashe community. He got attacked because people, what I heard and what I saw, people start screaming at him that he's a Chinese. And people are ignorant of knowing who are the Olim and who they should.
But wait, stop right there. Why should we care what he looks like? Why would you should never attack another human being, period.
That's
doesn't
100%.
matter what you look like.
But what I'm saying is that the hate that they spread against Haredi or against Bnei Menashe, or it can be Ethiopians, it could be anything.
Right.
And it's above racism, because that's the way to control a country, to separate everyone think that the other person is the enemy, and this needs to stop. People needs to understand that Israel is one. We were one for 3,000 years, and if we won't continue as one, we won't exist. That's it.
That's perfect.
That is perfect. Can I just say something?
Yeah. No,
That's where I was going originally with what I said about I didn't know who to vote for, because in the last 3 years, I've come to one conclusion, and that is that we all, irregardless of where we're from or which faction we root for or don't root for, we need to be united. And especially in the last 3 years, we must come together as one people, not as I'm this party, I'm that party, whatever. It doesn't matter. And this is what's causing all the division. We have been through division for the last 3 years, and this must stop. And this is why I'm saying it's too many parties, and I believe that the governments are going to decrease radically, and people are going to come together and form their own community governments or whatever you want to call it, because this can't continue like this, and we must unite. This is the most important, and I didn't see any party say this.
Okay, now we have a caller. Caller, we back? Caller?
Yeah, hi. It's again Gilad Alper from the Economic Freedom
Okay,
Party.
hopefully we can hear you this time.
Line. Yeah, hopefully I can hear you.
Okay, so you're one of the leaders of this party, correct?
Correct. I'm number 3 on the list.
Number 3, okay. And why are you campaigning for what you're campaigning for? Why do you
Why should
fight
we
so
vote
strongly?
for you?
Thank you.
I couldn't hear anything that you said just now, but I think you asked me why we were running or what we believe.
I asked you why we're running and why and Anne asked why we should vote for you. So
okay, good. Well, that's a good guess. Anyway, we believe in economic freedom or market economy or free market capitalism or whatever you want to call that. And the reason we're running and our entire agenda is centered around the issue or the problem or the fact that Israel is ranked in terms of economic freedom at around number 49 or 43, depending exactly on which think tank you're you're using the research. But anyway, the point is that almost the entire developed world is more economically free than Israel. Most of the countries in Western Europe, in Northern America, and also some countries in the Far East are richer than Israel in terms of GDP per capita. And that's a problem that is, I wouldn't say destroying Israel, but it is certainly not making Israel a magnet for Jews around the world. You spoke earlier, I listened to your broadcast so far, or at least parts of it, and you spoke about immigration from the Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, and some other countries. And that's great. It's great that Jews from those countries can immigrate to Israel and find a refuge or, a better place to live in. But it kind of also demonstrates the problem, which is where we are getting significant immigration of Jews only from those countries. We're not getting almost anyone immigrating from the US or the UK or Australia or Canada or any of the truly successful countries in the world.
LiAmi and I are from the U.S., by the way.
Oh, say, can you see?
Exactly. So if you look at the number of immigrants coming, for example, from the U.S., and if you compare that number to the size of the community, of the Jewish community in the U.S., the number is close to zero. And I think it's no coincidence that we're getting significant immigration of Jews only from countries that are less economically free than Israel, and we are getting almost no immigration from countries that are more economically free than Israel. And the reason is that people usually don't immigrate from countries that are less prosperous that are more prosperous to countries that are less prosperous. And if we want really to kind of materialize, make true the Zionist vision of Israel being the true center of Jews around the world and becoming a magnet to Jews, from everywhere, the only way to do that is to become more economically free, emulate the economic regime that is now prevalent in countries like Switzerland, some parts of the US, some parts of Western Europe, because the fact is, whether you like it or not, the only way to be economically successful is to be economically free. So this is our agenda. This is our platform.
Gilad,
to become more economically free. Yeah, please go ahead.
When you say economic free, this is a laundry word or a nice word to say capitalistic?
Please speak louder. When I say economically free...
When you say economically free, do you mean capitalistic full on? That's the meaning of freedom economy?
I caught a couple of words from what you asked. If you're asking if I mean capitalism, then it's one of the words that describe the system that we prefer. Some people call it voluntarism, some people call it market economy, free enterprise, free competition.
How do you think the Ukrainian Olim, the 60,000 Ukrainian and Russian Olim that came here in the last year, will be integrating into your opinion of free market? Do you think it's going to make their life easier in Israel, or you think it's going to make their life harder? That it's hard enough anyway, but...
Look, generally speaking, people prefer to live in countries that are economically free. That's why people immigrate from Mexico to the U.S., from Eastern Europe to Western Europe, although that's not really the case anymore because Eastern Europe is doing so much better. And for the benefits that economic freedom brings to people is firstly a much lower cost of living. When I say that Israel is much less economically free than some of the Western countries, it means, for example, we have limitations on import of food, and the agricultural market is centrally planned by the government, which means that prices are high and quality is low. And of course, if you immigrate from the Ukraine to Israel, and you need to buy food, then obviously expensive food hits you. So if you adopt policies that make food cheaper, which is exactly what's going on in Western Europe, you make life for everyone easier. Also, when you have economic freedom, which means you have more small businesses setting up, It's easier to conduct business. The regulatory burden is smaller. It means you have more businesses, more economic opportunities, more way to improve your lot in life. And that's exactly what people are looking for. And that's exactly why we're not seeing any immigration from the U.S. So almost no immigration.
Well,
Because what's the point?
I
of
gotta
immigrating to a
stop.
country when you get
I
less
gotta step
opportunity?
in. I gotta step in and say, first of all, the last few years, the immigration from the U.S. and Canada together has been about 4,000.
I can hardly hear you.
Could you not hear me?
That last sentence I actually did hear.
All right. Could you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I said immigration from the U.S. and Canada has averaged about 4,000 people per year. And as the head of KeepOlim, I could tell you more than half go back within 2 years. I mean, we keep records of the people that we helped. Personally, I have 400 Facebook friends that have left the country in the last few years. Those are my personal Facebook friends, not KeepOlim, my friends. I don't have any friends anymore. These two right-wing people are the only friends I have. Like that's how sad. All my Olim friends left. So I see people. I come from Beverly Hills. So I've seen people. I came here, I fell on my face. Guess why we have all these programs in KeepOlim? Because I had no food. And my friends brought me food because they saw there was no food in my house for what to eat. And I couldn't pay my bills. And this is what, and I broke down mentally. Okay? All these people, all the programs in KeepOlim came from what happened to me. And we vowed never for it to happen again. And yet I still see year after year, people come, people go, that we're not attracting the right Americans. No nefesh b'nefesh. They tried to attract young religious people, Zionist religious people, to go to Beit Shemesh and Modi'in and the Yudah and Shomron areas and Yerushalayim, and young people to go into the army. But they're not attracting the normal secular American people. And that is a big problem. And they're only after a specific, that's their population.
There's a disparity. There's a terrible disparity when Olim come from, say, Western countries like the U.S. or Canada versus Olim that come from Europe or Eastern countries. There is much more financial incentive and much more help for those coming from the East or, like I said, from Europe or Eastern countries versus the Western countries.
If I can just interject, I heard only part of what you said over the last couple of minutes, so I'm going to comment, and I hope I'm commenting to the point, because I didn't hear a lot. But what I want to say, and just I hope I'm not going to bore you too much with numbers, but look on a yearly basis. Before the war started in the Ukraine, every year about 7% of the Jewish community in the Ukraine immigrates to Israel. And from Russia, about 5%. Now, I don't know how many people leave within the first 1 year, 2 years, 5 years after immigrating to Israel. But anyway, these are the numbers. About 5 or 7% of the Jewish community immigrates to Israel every year. From the U.S., the number is 0.06%, right?
Actually, from the U.S. is probably a Yerida, because more Israelis make you immigrate to America than Americans move to Israel, and that's gone. I come from a community. I was very active in the Los Angeles Israeli community, not so much Jewish community, Israeli community, and there's over 300,000 Israelis in the Los Angeles area, and that is a statistic by the Israeli consulate, and I happen to work there.
This is exactly what I wanted to say, because firstly, we know how many immigrate to Israel. We know that exactly because they all register. We don't know exactly how many live.
I could tell you with Russians and Ukrainians, the percent of leaving is about 40%. So it's less than the Americans, and it's less than the French, and it's less than the Europeans. But it's bad when we have immigrants, Olim, going back to Venezuela where there's no toilet
Brazil.
paper, but there's no toilet paper in Venezuela, and still they're going back to Venezuela, then something's wrong. We have thousands are coming from Brazil and Argentina right now. We just helped last week an Ole that has no money. He's been here 2 weeks. He went to send for his family, and he couldn't. He got ripped off 3 times here. He worked 3 different jobs, and nobody would pay him. This is what happens when Olim don't have the support, and we have Olim that come here so unprepared. I don't know, I'm not embarrassed to say the Jewish agency or whatever agency sends them does not do their job, because we have Olim coming here so unprepared they're coming with no money in their pockets, no plan, no nothing. They don't know where they're going to go, and they're just dropped like hot potatoes. So sadly, that hasn't changed, and that we have to work on. So thank you very much for your phone call.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving me the
And what's your party again? So remind people.
The letters, what the letters are.
Economic freedom.
What's the letters?
In Hebrew, it's Chofesh Kalkali, and the letters are Aleph Tzadik.
Aleph
Aleph
Tzadik.
Sadiq. Okay, thank you.
Chofesh Kalkali.
Thank you so much.
Toda raba, Gilad.
You know, the problem is when they gave, I made Aliyah, and then we had an election right after. And honestly, I didn't speak. I was illiterate. I didn't speak Hebrew. I was Borva Ma'aretz. And so I had 26 pieces of paper up in the Calpi, in the election booth, and everything was in Hebrew. And I had no idea who I voted for, but then I got a text message from Ahmed Tibi the next day saying Shukran Habibi. So I guess that's who I voted for. I don't know. It's like, you know, honestly, there's not enough signage in English or in some of the voting places. So it's very hard. And you have a lot of parties that have 2 letters. It's easy to remember 1 letter, like Lamed is Beitenu. But, But
remember your letter.
Remember your letter, write it down on your hand. That's what I did the first time I voted, actually.
It's
I
actually
wrote the
better if
letter.
you have a word in Hebrew. It's much better to remember if it's 2 or 3 letters.
So, okay, we have some more questions here before we get to a caller. These are good questions. This is a question that was, where is it? Will Arab turnout come in at 40% plus or more or less? What do you think? What do you guys think? So right now they're predicting that the Arab turnout is about 50%. Now, in break it down for you all, the less number of Arab people that vote, Arab Israelis, that's better for the right wing. The more Arabs that vote, it's better for the left wing. So that's it. The Arabs are the highest, I think, was like 65%. They voted a few elections ago. But this election, they don't think that many Arabs will vote. That's like the big question mark, how many Arabs will turn out and vote, because that will make a big difference in how many seats, because each seat is calculated by the amount of people. So like in the last election, just to explain it, if you don't get 4 seats, the minimum threshold is 3.25%. So the 4 seats worked out last election to about 140,000. So you need about 140,000 votes to get to the first 4 seats, plus minus. So whether the Arabs will turn out and re-elect Balad and Ram and Hadash into the Knesset, we don't know. Right now, Ram is not doing that well. It's below the threshold. That doesn't mean that it won't be, because not everyone tells the truth to pollsters. Israeli polls are very notoriously wrong. Do we have a call? We have a call. Okay. Caller, come in. Shalom.
Hello.
Hi. What's your name?
Ben.
Ben?
Hi.
Hi, Ben. You're on the air. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Haifa.
Okay.
And my name's David.
David, I'm sorry. Okay. David from Haifa. How's Haifa tonight?
Good.
Good.
Chilling.
Okay. And who we voting for up in Haifa?
I'm voting for Ben Gvir.
Ben Gvir. And why are you voting for Ben Gvir?
Because he's the only one that actually says, that we have to stick up for our citizens and we have to stop with the terrorist attacks. And the last 4 elections, I voted for Bibi, and all my family votes Likud. And Bibi hasn't done anything to really protect us in the last 13 years.
So you support Ben Gvir more for protection, more for security issues in this election?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I have a question for you, sir. Stay on the line.
Sure.
So some people have problem with Ben Gvir and Smotrich because of who they aligned with. Some of their members on their list, their list are anti-gay and lesbian. They're anti-LGBT community, among other things. How do you feel about that? Like, do you think Gvir is going to take away the rights of?
So I'm actually a member of the LGBTQ community.
Oh, great.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, like, a lot of my friends are saying, as a member of the community, how can you vote for a right-wing party? So, yeah, I understand where they're coming from. And obviously, there are elements of the right-wing community that are against my community. And, that's one thing that, eventually I'd like to be a member of the Knesset myself and to change that. And we saw that that's what happened in 2016 when President Trump ran, that there was a lot of people that were voting Democrat that were a member of the LGBTQ party, and they were not happy with the Democrats, and they switched, and they, a lot of them are now conservatives, and so that's what I want to. I want to change people's views on the right wing. That
I know David Ben Gvir has a cell inside Otzma Yehudit.
Sorry?
I'm saying Ben Gvir inside Otzma Yehudit. They have a LGBT cell inside. Means there's like a community of people which are LGBT and goes and say we are voting Ben Gvir. And I heard Ben Gvir saying a few times that he has nothing against homosexuals or anything like that.
I'm sorry, but I'm having a lot of trouble hearing.
Yeah, you don't hear me yet. So
no,
LiAmi,
okay, all right. Could you hear me?
Yes, I do, LiAmi.
Okay, so basically what my man Tzvika was saying was that Ben Gvir has said a couple times, according to him, because he has some friends that are in Ben Gvir's party who are from the LGBT community, and they said that Ben Gvir's support is more respectable for the is more tolerant and open to the gay community than some of the other members of his party. So, okay, thank you very much for sharing.
Wait. I just want to ask you one more question. So tell us a little more about him. Tell us more about your candidate. Why do you feel he would be a good leader here in Israel? What changes do you think he could make?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you properly.
Sure.
Sorry.
What kind of changes do you see him making if he were elected? What do you see him doing, or what do you see his program as being for the future?
No, first of all, you're breaking up, and also I can't hear you. Maybe LiAmi can repeat the question.
Okay, sure. Anne wants to talk to you about Ben Gvir.
Yes.
And what was your question?
Oh, I want here. Again, my question is, what do you feel he can do for the country? What do you feel his changes or his stance would be, and where do you feel he would be going in Israel as a member of Knesset? What do you feel he will do or change in this country?
So, I think at the moment, Lapid being prime minister now, and when Bibi was prime minister, everyone is afraid of what the world is going to say if we react to when there's terrorist attacks, when there's rockets, and everyone's afraid, like the government's afraid, oh my God, the world is going to, condemn us, or the media is going to condemn us. That's going to happen anyway. Unfortunately, at the moment, the media hates Israel, and when we protect ourselves, we're called all sorts of names. And I really feel that Ben Gvir, being in the Knesset, or, hopefully even further, he's not going to care what the world thinks. He's going to say, this is what we have to do. We have to protect our citizens. And that's all there is to it. Because at the moment, we had the rockets not long ago, and everyone's afraid of what the world is going to say, and the media, and, we have I have friends now that are in the army, and they're afraid to do their jobs. They're petrified. Chas v'shalom, there is a terrorist attack, and they react. Are they going to be thrown out under the bus?
I hear you. Listen, I hear you. I just wanted to hear your opinion on this. I'm, obviously I'm very, very pro-security, very, very pro our boys, our guys, our women in our armed services here in Israel. I think they're the greatest, and I don't think we can do enough for them. And you're right, we need somebody to stand up for them and give them the green light to take care of business. If somebody's attacking them, they need to respond accordingly. You're right. I agree with you on this.
Okay.
Well, you got Anne Pollard to agree with you. That's a big thing, dude. That's a big thing.
I'm really honored. Thank you.
No, really. As I said earlier in the program, security for me was always first and foremost in Israel. I mean, obviously, if you know my background, you'll know this was always foremost in my mind and in my heart for Israel.
Okay, thank you very much, David, for talking to us.
Okay, thank you, LiAmi, and thank you guys for everything that you do for Olim.
Thank you so much, and good luck to you on Election Day.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thank you. Bye.
Okay, hi, we have a question that's written in. Thank you, Shiraz. What is the Ministry of Aliyah doing to feed Olim and employ them? Well, feeding Olim, as we say in Chinese, Gunish Taufen. They're doing nada. We're feeding them. This poor organization called KeepOlim, we're feeding them. We're giving the clothes off our backs, basically, and putting in our own money to make sure that no Aleh starves, okay? When people call me crying and we have no food and KeepOlim has no money for the food, I wind up getting food for them, where Tzvika winds up getting food for them, because that's the way we do it here. We don't let people come to us with problems, and we're not letting anyone starve, and we're not letting anyone be homeless. We rescued 18 people off the streets of Tel Aviv, 18 people. So we're here. We do the dirty work. Unfortunately, the Misrad Aliyah and Jewish Agency, where are they? Because they're not around.
I must say that usually no one wants to be the Minister of Aliyah and Klita. It's like a job you get if they want to give you some title and they don't have nothing worse to give you, they give you the Minister of Aliyah and Klita. But this time I find with Penina, Minister Penina Tamano-Shata, that she really loves her job and she really is trying to do more for Olim, and especially for her own Olim, for Ethiopian Olim. And I have a feeling that not like other ministers of Aliyah and Klita, she's doing a better job. There's much more to do, that's for sure. It doesn't make sense that people landing in Israel, finding themselves homeless after 2 weeks or after a month, and then calling us, and we're finding ourselves in a situation that we need to find them a house, a job, and get them back on their feet. There's a lot to do, but I have a feeling that they should give Minister of Aliyah and Klita to someone that really wants the job. And I believe that if Gantz will be in the next Knesset, in the next government, so Penina will continue being the Minister of Aliyah and Klita.
I hope so. I also agree with Tzvika that Penina is doing an awesome job. And the minister before her, Alex Kushner, who was the minister.
wasn't the minister.
Oh, he was.
No,
it was the Aliyah. Who was the minister?
Sofa Landwehr.
No, after Sofer Landwehr. Yeah, Sofer Landwehr we didn't do very well with.
The one with the Army Levy bag. What's his name? Elkin.
Oh no, that was 6 years
Before.
ago.
Okay, so I don't know who was.
Okay.
I don't think Alex was the minister.
Alex.
No.
All
So
right.
It's been in for a long time already.
Anyway,
Too many elections.
there's so many elections we can't keep up, and all the names keep changing. But anyway, what else? What else? Do we have another call? Yes, we do. It's coming up right now. So again, our number is 058-795-4531. That's 058-795-4531 or 055-980-7790. Caller, shalom. Please turn down your radio.
Hello?
Hello, caller.
Yeah, it's Josh. It's Josh.
It's our own. It's KeepOlim's own Josh Aronson. From the board of
I had
KeepOlim.
to call in. I'm on a quick break from university. I'm doing my university studies. But I had to call in because I'm very proud of KeepOlim's work, and especially now towards the elections. As most of you know, I'm in charge of their government relations and bureaucracy in KeepOlim.
Doing an amazing job.
And when I heard the previous caller was the question that he asked, what the government's doing, I think for LiAmi purposes, I think that the previous government we've just had was amazing, was the respect on the help that they wanted to give us, the support they wanted to give us. People that know me personally know that I very much support Meretz, which I think that merits the work they were doing to try and change for the rights for Olim, the works in progress, together with Penina Tamano, who was incredible to us, and in the government before that, Michael Cutler, that really tried to help us. And I say that for us, Olim, in order that we have a government, we need a government that's stable, a government that will give us the right to want to help Olim, a government that is socialist in that behavior, that will see the rights of all people, all vulnerable people. We Olim are vulnerable. I mean, everyone knows I myself had to move out of Israel because of my circumstances. There's nothing I love more than Israel. And there's nothing I want more to help Israel succeed, to help Israel get to a place that I can come back because of the hard circumstances to him and to everyone. And LiAmi, Tzvika, and Anne, I'm so proud to be part of KeepOlim's board, and so proud of you guys.
Well,
we're proud of you.
love you, Josh,
Let's say it, 1,
and,
2, 3. We are very, very proud of you,
we're
Josh.
very proud
We
of
love you, Josh.
And-
yes, we do.
And I must say that Josh is better than any Knesset or government I ever saw. Josh
All right,
is.
I'm gonna let you go back
We
to
love
being
you.
people, and
We
remember
love
we
you.
need a government of socialists. And I'm going back into university now.
Good luck, Josh.
Good
we love
luck.
you, and I want to say that Josh is a lifesaver. So many bureaucracy cases that coming to us, we have no clue what to do, and we give him to Josh. Josh knows the right people in the right places. That this is all about. I think this is what Israel is all about: to know the right people in the right places. Then you can do miracles. But the common Ole doesn't know no one in no place, and this is why it's so hard for them. And I think, Josh, you're amazing. We miss you. We hope to see you and your great wife very soon in Israel. And thanks for all you're doing. He's still doing it, even from London, still helping us.
He still works many hours a week.
Thank you so much, Josh.
Okay, do we have
Thank
another
you.
caller?
Thank
Thank you, Josh. Toda rabah. Good luck in the elections
Good luck,
and
Josh.
study hard. Come back here. We need you. Okay, do we have another caller? Oh, we have a question. So Tzvika, okay.
How can we be?
How can we be free as an economic?
Depends from abroad to, I don't know.
All right. So basically, I guess what the question is about how can we be free economically as a country when we have so much dependence on abroad, like getting money from abroad. We get billions of dollars from America. I know it's not like we could go shopping at Macy's and Bloomingdale's with the money because we have to buy military, and the stuff has to be made in Israel. That's part of the thing. It's not just
Well,
$5
it's
billion.
made in
Let's go
cooperation.
shopping.
It's made in cooperation with the U.S., between the U.S. and Israel. It's not just money handed to Israel.
Yeah, it's not I wish we could go
It's like a
shopping.
win-win for Israel and America because both countries are actually creating whatever weaponry or whatever it is that we're purchasing.
Okay, do we have another question?
Yeah.
But I think the question should be, in the last 3 years, so many businesses have suffered. I mean, people have just suffered. They've lost their businesses. They've lost their livelihood. They're sick from everything. I mean, what do we do to rescue these people? This is so important, and this is worldwide now. It's a huge problem.
So I just got texted a few questions here. One I really like, how to stop racism against the Ethiopians and B'nai Menashes. Well, if I had the answer to that, I mean, I would be elected to the Knesset. But KeepOlim supports our B'nai Menashe and our Ethiopians communities. And I've been to many Ethiopian demonstrations as has Tzvika. And we're going to be visiting the family of Yoel, I believe, on Friday. And, we support, we're here, that we're one people, we're Am Echad B'Lev Echad. And dividing people into categories does not make us Am Echad Lev Echad. Undivided, united makes us Am Echad B'Lev Echad. So that's one question. Maybe Anne wants to take this question. There's another question here. Why is it that Israel is embroiled in never-ending elections? You could take that one.
I would ask Hashem this question because I really, it's again, I take it back to what I said initially. I think there is just far, far too much government in the country our size. I think we have to, first of all, we have to bring down the amount of people in government, and we have to improve in certain various ministries that are important for us, And we have to clean up other ministries. There's several ministries that I think we really need to clean up after, especially after the last 3 years.
Okay, thank you, Anne.
So I want to see less government, and I want to see more action, and I want to see the people being taken care of. This is where I'm going with all this.
Okay.
That's why I really don't know who to vote for tomorrow. I really don't.
I join you. I still don't know. Okay, we have another caller. Hello, caller. Shalom.
Hello.
Hi, who's this?
Hi, Susan.
Hi, Susan. Could you turn down the radio?
Yeah, I'm going to do it now. Hang on.
Okay.
Is this Susan Cohen? Yeah, okay.
Hi.
Hi, Susan. So glad you're with us. This is the one and only Susan Cohen.
Hi,
the
Susan.
director of the Tikva by KeepOlim program for mental health. She is our angel, our malach. She has saved so many lives. It's unbelievable. So, Susan, thanks for calling. What's up? What do you have to say?
I can't hear you.
Susan, could you hear me now?
Yeah, I can now.
Okay, what do you have to say? Come in.
Okay, so first of all, guys, you've done the most amazing program tonight. It's been wonderful to listen to and wonderful to watch. Obviously, my thing is mental health, and you all know that. I'm coming from two aspects. We also need in the government somebody that's going to support the Olims that come into this country with their mental health problems, and also our lone soldiers who make aliyah to Israel under promised X, Y, and Z, and unfortunately
that end up in our program with severe mental health problems because they're not getting the support that they need within the services that they're providing. They are fighting for our country. They are helping to support our country. And their mental health deteriorates when they come because the army does not know how to look after them. This is a vital, vital part of keeping young Olim in Israel. And this is something that I would really dearly like the government, the next government, to really become involved with. We're inviting you to join us in KeepOlim to help us to fight for our young lone soldiers to be able to stay here in this country in a healthy way. And any of the Olim that are coming in with mental health problems.
There's so many coming with mental health problems, and they think it's so easy. You know, after 80 years of Aliyah, no government official said, hey, maybe when people are changing their country, forget about that it's Israel, they need to have mental health issues. They're going to have a therapist to talk to because, hey, they can't get a job, their wife is working, their kids are not doing good in school.
No, it's not only that. I think after even if you're coming here with no mental issues and you're perfectly fine, having missiles flying above your head, I can talk about my own family. There is an Olim family from Canada, and for the first time in their life, they need to run to the shelter from missile. They're flying above their head and booming. No, I'm saying, Susan, that LiAmi said some Olim coming here with mental issues. I said, even if you come here and you don't have mental issues, it's very easy to get some.
It's easy to pick it up here with all the rockets and all the wars. It's way out of hand.
Sorry,
It's much worse. No, I was saying it's so much worse here. The terrorism here in this country is just outrageous, and the violence lately, it's too much.
And even Corona.
And this was my next question to you, actually. I wanted to know, Susan, do you feel that in the last 3 years, the situation has like just quadrupled or just manifested so poorly from the COVID situation? Do you feel that far more people have psychological damage from the
Absolutely.
COVID situation?
She doesn't hear us.
It's exploding.
Oh, no, she is.
Over the last couple of weeks, particularly.
So between the wars and COVID and the loss of business and the loss of life and the loss of and illnesses, I mean, I don't know how you do it, but my hat's off to you, Susan. I think you do an amazing, amazing job here. We're so proud of you.
No doubt.
We love you we love you. We all love you
I
here.
think it's important to repeat and saying that what Susan is managing and doing such a great job in is basically taking Olim from any language. We have more than 14 different languages and find them the perfect therapist that will help them solve their problems. And it's that's my favorite. I don't like to say any one of the programs are my favorite, but I think really this program is saving life on a daily basis. And we're super, super appreciative to you, Susan, and thanking you. And God bless you. Who are you voting for tomorrow, Susan? You didn't tell us. She doesn't hear us. Okay.
Susan, who are you voting for tomorrow?
Oh, Susan hung up. Okay, we have one last call. Let's go. Caller, Shalom, you're on the air. You're not on the air. We tricked you. Hold on, please.
You will be on the air.
You will be on the air.
Shortly. Soon. In a moment.
After the short musical interlude. Okay, is Anne going to sing for us, or should LiAmi?
Oh, we'll see.
Okay, we have a caller on the air now. Hey, what's your name?
Hi, LiAmi. It's Ariel.
It's who?
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Hi, what's your... Ariel. Shalom, Ariel. How are you?
How are you?
Good. Where are you calling from, sir?
Chadera.
Chadera in the house. Chadera in the Bayi. Yo, yo, yo. Okay. So who are you voting for, Ariel? We got to do this quick.
I'm voting for Yesh Atid.
And why are you voting for Yesh Atid?
Well, first of all, I've been an activist in the party for the last 5 years.
Okay.
And I believe in the message of the party. I believe that a lot of people are misguided in the words of what what Prime Minister Lapid says. A lot of people think that he's anti-religious. He's not anti-religious at all. What the Prime Minister is saying is that he doesn't believe in the leadership, whether it's Shas or Degel HaTorah, United Torah Judaism. The leadership, they're not doing right by their constituents, and he wants to educate the people in the Orthodox community because these people are the future.
Okay. Do you think Yesh Atid has a chance tomorrow or Tuesday?
Do I believe Yesh Atid? Listen, it's a difficult situation. As I'm going to sound like I'm mimicking the Prime Minister, but we have to wait until after everything is complete. All the votes come in.
Ariel, last question. Do you believe in democracy? Do you love democracy?
LiAmi, can you repeat the question again?
Do you love democracy? Democracy. Do you love?
Yeah. Do you love democracy?
Well, it's a bad.
His question was, do you love democracy?
Do you believe in democracy, Ariel? You can't hear us.
All right. Ariel can't hear us. All right. Thank you, Ariel, for calling.
Thank you very much, LiAmi.
Okay. Take care. So let's just, we need a few seconds to wrap it up here.
Ask your question one more time. I think I can hear you now.
Do you believe in democracy?
Do I believe in democracy? Of course I believe in democracy.
Okay.
No, wait, can I ask you a question?
No, wait, but there's a continuation.
Okay, sorry.
So explain us how come Lapid in his party doesn't have no election, means that he's in top for the next 6-7 years.
I think what you were asking was about party numbers?
No, so Tzvika was asking why Yesh Atid doesn't have elections. That's his question.
First of all, it's a young party. The places are not. Lapid himself is not sitting there saying, "I want this person at post number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5." It's done by committee, so it's not a ruler. And everything goes. Everything.
Okay. Ariel, we have to go. We're on a short at a time, but thank you very much.
LiAmi.
And thanks for calling. Okay. So, wrapping this up, Anne, what do you have to say? We heard a lot of people. What do you have to say?
I'm really, it was very interesting. Everyone who called, we really, really appreciate it. You've given us all food for thought, and I guess we'll see what happens. We'll keep our...
Now, has your mind been changed since the start of the show?
No, I'm afraid it hasn't.
No,
My
it
mind
hasn't.
actually changed radically in the last 3 years. My viewpoints on government and parties, everything changed in the last 3 years personally for me. I became an incredible, lockdowns taught me to become an incredible researcher. And I just read and learned things, historical facts and things that no one is taught in school or anywhere else. And I've come to very, very different conclusions on who to vote for and what's important in voting and what's important for a country and a nation. And I realized the first and foremost, most important thing in a nation is that we all must be united. What happened like back in Germany, for example, it would never have happened if people had stayed together and unified. But, everybody was running for their corner and their corner. And I believe this was one of the worst problems of the Holocaust. And we, as a nation after the Holocaust, we need to stand together, irregardless of whether I agree with LiAmi or LiAmi agrees with me or whatever. First and foremost is unity, okay? After unity, you can argue, you can debate about politics in this, but we have to stand together. We cannot let people divide us. And that's been the message of COVID for me.
Tzvika?
I think that we should all take an example from KeepOlim, that KeepOlim, what's special about it is that we are not an organization, a non-profit for one people. Means we're not for Russian, for American, for French, for Canadian. No, we understood right at the beginning that Ole is Ole is Ole. Means all Olim have the same issues, same problems, and by uniting them, we're gonna get the power to really change something. And I agree with that 100%. We saw it in the driver license. We united the people, we got what we want, and I take what Anne said and saying, let's get united, Olim, Israelis, and this is the way to solve the real issues in this country.
So I just want to say, like, KeepOlim is very diversified. We're not an Anglo group at all. We have represent Olim from 100 countries. And as you can see, it's very diverse. Thank you for all our callers. Thank you for our studio help, Noah and Shiraz, my interns, great extraordinaire. Thank you to Shir. Thank you to Alex. Spasiba, Alex. And muchas gracias. Toda rabah l'shir, and thank you all for listening. We want to remind you, put some money in a KeepOlim Pishka. Go to keepolim.org and donate some money today. It's tax deductible now. Hallelujah. Amen. Thank you. I want to thank Tzvika. I want to thank Anne, because I couldn't have done this show without them. And they're amazing. Okay? What I don't get in salary, I get in love from Tzvika and Anne. So I thank you so much. And just go out and vote. Vote whoever you want. Tomorrow we will make an open post that people could post who they want and ask questions and whatever. And it's one day this year you're allowed to express your opinion in the voting booth. So thank you so much, Toda Rabah, for listening. And we're going to start having more podcasts in the next few weeks about different issues with different people. And we'll love to have you volunteer and donate and be part of KeepOlim. Toda Rabah, thank you for listening. And good luck, Israel. We love you. Thank you. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Laila Tov.